Hey there everybody, it's the Swamp Cleaner here, back with another video for you. I hope you guys had a good week, and I hope you guys have been paying attention because a lot of news has been breaking, a lot of things have been happening, and it's been getting thick and fast. I know out there in Eastern Europe, we have a situation, a conflict brewing between Ukraine and Russia. Actually, it's more like already almost open war because, long story short, Russia has moved troops and tanks into the eastern regions of Ukraine, which are being contested by Russian separatists, which have declared independence in the region. And the Russians aren't invading Ukraine, they're just securing and defending these new independent regions from outside threat. So that's developing there. And of course, we have a fumbling, bumbling fool at the wheel in Joe Biden who can't even string a few sentences together and sound imposing when they're going to place sanctions. And it seems like that is going to get worse before it gets better. But that is not what this video is going to be about today. Today, I'm going to give you an update on the absolute state of Canada and how things have gone from bad to way worse. Uh, in my opinion now, the country is not a democracy. It's not anything of the sort. Rip up the Charter of Freedom, rip up the Charter of Rights, and just call yourself Dictator Trudeau. Call him Herr Trudeau, and he is now running the People's Republic of Canada or something like that. Okay, so if you guys have known over the weekend, the police cracked down on the peaceful protesters, and I'm going to use the actual words that describe reality here because it's so blatantly hypocritical, and at this point it's because these people don't matter or they don't care. They just say it's my side, my tribe. We are winning, so I don't care. So it's not about double standards like Tim Pool says. It's about hierarchy. It's about them winning. And that's why you see all these people on the left now who are cheering on what has happened to actual peaceful protesters, just demanding that they don't be forced to get injected with something which is experimental. They are cheering the police action of hitting people with batons, shooting them point blank with tear gas canisters, trampling them with horses, as well as you can see right here.
Okay. Oh,
This
come
is
on
just
through.
they
Come
trampled
on
little old
through.
lady.
What is happening here? Wow. What is this lady doing? Trampling. Trampling horses. Trampling. Stop it. Stop it.
Oh my!
Oh my God.
So that's what was happening over the weekend, and the lefties online were enjoying this. They were salivating over it. They were lauding over it. They were celebrating it. They were saying, "You were given ample warning to leave. You get what you deserve." Well, as I can remember, watching the actual riots going on in 2020 with BLM and Antifa, the cops gave them ample warning to leave, disperse, stop what you're doing, and what they were doing most of the time devolved into riots where they were setting things on fire, smashing windows and destroying stores, stealing stuff, and actually assaulting people and killing people. I like how they claimed the truckers have occupied Ottawa, and this is a dangerous occupation and needs to be ended. Well, as I remember, there was a place called Chaz Chop in Seattle where for several weeks a bunch of radical extremists took over a couple blocks of the city center and turned it into a utopia where I think what 3 people were shot and killed, including a young teenaged a boy who happened to be black. Um, but Black Lives Matter, right? So cops would kneel for that and reluctantly finally clear out a protest if it got really bad. Or, I mean, a riot that got really bad. But these truckers were cracked down on, beaten, I got CCTV camera footage of one trucker getting dragged up behind the line, and then two cops start kneeing right into him. It's crazy. And that guy, I think his name is Sybil. I forgot his last name, but he surrendered peacefully, and then they handcuffed him, and then they started kneeing him, so he couldn't protect himself. And apparently he's pissing blood now, and he has severe pain and headaches. So that's what you get if you peacefully protest, because you're protesting against the powers that be. You're protesting against what they have implemented. See, that's the powers that be backed and supported and even bailed out rioters. Kamala Harris bailed out rioters because they were targeting a specter, a ghost. The ghost being widespread, rampant police brutality on the black population, which was not happening because they're protesting their subjective fantasies while the truckers are protesting the object reality of mandates forcing them to get a shot in the arm, which is experimental, by the way, and the clinical trials won't be done earliest 2023 or 2024. So still another year away. So over the weekend, the police were just ruthlessly cracking down on people, and you saw that by the woman being trampled here. And now I'm going to show you the new interim police chief, Steve Bell, because the previous police chief didn't want to be a draconian tyrant and stomp his boot down on the people. So he resigned, and they brought in this jackboot thug who is now going to chase you down, even if you left peacefully, chase you down and hit you with economic sanctions and possible criminal charges and maybe even throw you in jail for a couple years. Because the leaders of the protest here, Tamara Litch and a few others, they've been denied bail, and they peacefully surrendered. And the judges were like, well, no, I don't believe you saying that you're going to go back home and not protest because you didn't denounce what you did was wrong, which it's not wrong because they're standing up for their rights because they're allowed to. She says, well, because you didn't, you might have acknowledged that you're going to go home and said so, but since you didn't, flagellate yourself, since you didn't whip yourself and say shame, shame, shame on me, I'm going to deny you bail, and now you're up for 10 years in prison. So, yeah, anyway, let's listen to this police chief, and he's responding to a question from a reporter that said she noticed a bunch of police with video cameras recording everybody, and she's wondering what their plans are to follow up with protesters who even retreat peacefully or, leave without being arrested. And here's his answer.
Great question, and the simple answer is yes. If you are involved in this protest, we will actively look to identify you and follow up with financial sanctions and criminal charges. Absolutely. This investigation will go on for months to come. It has many, many different streams, both from a federal financial level, from a provincial licensing level, from a criminal code level, from a municipal breach of court order, breach of court injunction level. It will be a complicated and
So, did you hear all that? So, federally, they're going to freeze your assets because they're allowed to now without a court order. At a provincial level, they'll take away your licenses and your insurances and stuff, so disables your ability to travel or work. And then at the municipal level, if you violate any court orders, which they will put on retroactively, saying that your charges are also you're being charged with this, but we're also denying you the right to do specific actions, as if you're not allowed to protest again, or you're not allowed to go here or here, because if you do, then that's a breach of your court orders, and then we'll throw you immediately into jail. So these people are fascistic tyrants who are going to chase you down like a dog, hunt you down like a dog, and throw the leash on you and drag you back into the kennel. So at this point, there is no point to go. You need to stand your ground wherever you are. And I mean, I just don't get it. It's crazy. Let's just finish up here.
Time-consuming investigation that will go on for a period of time.
Time
You have
consuming.
my commitment that that investigation will continue, and we will hold people accountable for taking our streets over.
Wow, for taking your streets over. See, I wonder what the police would have said if they did, or if the police acted this way when BLM were torching buildings, or I mean, or how about better yet, because people said, well, that's an American analogy, it doesn't fit. Well, okay, well, how about last year, 2021? The indigenous BLM groups and Antifa burned down churches and tore down statues of Queen Victoria and Sir John A. Macdonald. And Trudeau said, it's wrong, but we understand the anger. And that was based off of fake news because there was a mass grave of indigenous children which was found when it turned out that's not what that was. So, yeah, complete rules for thee, but not for me. We will bow our heads. We will kneel in front of BLM, but we will crack your skull in because you are our peasants. Drive the trucks, feed us. How dare you? And because, yeah, Chrystia Freeland wants to make these financial sanction powers permanent. These people are tyrants. But now let's move on to the actual physical manifestation of what this jackboot thuggery looks like. And this reminds me of the Argentinian juntas, which was the military group that took over Argentina to get rid of colonialism and bring about, democracy when it was just literally dictatorship. And they would persecute the political dissidents of their way of doing stuff by throwing them in jail, shutting down their business, financially freezing their assets, torturing them when they get them in jail, all this stuff. But now look at this reminds me of that because here's this jackboot thuggery. Apparently this is the Iconic Cafe, and their crime was allowing truckers to drink some coffee and get out of the cold during the protest. But here's the jackboot thuggery. Watch how the cops, they want to get in because apparently they want to do an inspection. I didn't know the cops now moonlight for the health department, but they wanted to get inside and they were willing to break the window to do so.
There's no inspection on the weekend, we know that.
See, that's his wife. That's the owner here, and that's his wife there. So they're just like, okay, you know what? Well, we'll just close up. So there's no reason for you to bother. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm sure there's
saying
like
that they're going to break
around the
it.
corner. They're surrounding the building. And look at them. She's like, you open this door, we'll break the window. Because I wanna arrest you because why? You
Okay,
gave
share
truckers
this out, you guys.
material
Get it
help.
out everywhere.
You gave
Now,
truckers goods.
get it out. They're saying they're going to break the window. They already walked around back, you guys, so...
I know they can't get in because they're breaking in and then they'll have to pay the thing so they can't.
Yeah, but it goes on from there. They keep arguing through the window, and it's funny because they're like trying to wear like just their masks. And I'm just like, so you're trying to argue through a window while you're wearing a mask on the other side. I'm just like, but anyway, they're still being, the cops are like, the updates are like their people are legally helping them out. The lawyers, they've retained some lawyers, but apparently the cops are still staking out outside the place. So they want to nab these people. They want to nab them. They want to arrest them, and they probably just want to yeet them from non-existence. That's they're black bagging people. What do you think they're doing with the trucker protest organizers that they denied bail? What about a lot of the truckers where they said, I don't know, they're taking all my stuff, they're going to sell their stuff. The Ottawa mayor wants to sell all the trucks that they impounded. because he, in his opinion, the truckers don't deserve their property back. Okay. So now you get to just seize land like a king. You can just stroll on over. It's like, this is mine now, because I said so by decree. Yeah, this is fascistic feudalism. They're changing Canada very quickly. I retrified a quote, changed it up, and it used to say, "How'd you lose all your money?" And it said, "First very gradually, then very suddenly." So I switched it up and said, "How did you lose your democracy? First very gradually, then very suddenly." And that seems to be kind of what's happening. So anyway, because chest in, and well, this was of 2 days ago. This is like a recap of everything. The House of Commons has passed a motion to approve the extraordinary and temporary measures of the Emergencies Act, but it's funny because Trudeau enacted it, and he's only allowed to enact it for 7 days of his own accord, and then it needs to it can get extended to 30 days if they approve it. So if it's temporary, they just extended it, and seems pretty much like that. How, well, we're just extending, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Well, now we need to just extend it a little bit more because there's more spread and stuff like that. See, it's kind of like the same messaging. So the House of Commons passed that stuff, and yeah, a majority of people voted yes for it. So any Conservative MP needs to be ousted. All of them who did vote for this need to be ousted because they are traitors to the Canadian people. They hate freedom. They hate dissent against, calm dissent against mandates which are unlawful. And they said, not this time. You're going to obey us. So on with the Emergencies Act. And for an example of how dumb and crazy this situation is, and the kind of people that are running this shit show, this member of parliament, Yara Sachs, conflates honk honk with Heil Hitler because, and I shit you not, she got it from a 4chan meme. Just kind of like how that OK hand symbol is a white supremacist hand sign, and how that started on 4chan. This dumbass fell for it and now put it on official record as what she believes is what's happening, as legitimately. She's trying to pass it off as a matter of fact. And this is how actual fake news, actual misinformation, disinformation gets spread around. It's funny. So it's the hypocrisy is so palpable. The same people who scream misinformation, disinformation, are the ones who are peddling it themselves. So here you go.
How many guns need to be seized?
And when she meant guns, she was referring to a cache of weapons found out in Alberta by the Alberta Coots protest, where it was an inner working group of truckers who wanted to overthrow the government. They had all these weapons, automatic weapons, body armor, and all this stuff. It was like, sure, bro, sure. The RCMP just happened to find this cache just conveniently a few days after a gun truck was stolen out of Peterborough, Ontario, which had thousands of guns on them. So, I can't connect the dots, but convenient timing. And that's a conspiracy. So, flay me in the comment section if you want. But whatever. But anyway, let's continue with crazy lady here.
How much vitriol do we have to see of honk honk, which is an acronym for Hail Hitler, do we need to see by these protesters on social media?
And that's the level of that's the state of the commons. That's how smart you're getting your people. I know, and I just butchered that. Yeah, that sounds pretty dumb. But my brain is having a hard time processing this, so it's like it's all jumbled up. These are the people who are making decisions that are affecting all Canadians' lives. These people, her. She says, to those who found my statements hard to process, others who dismiss them, this hate is real, it's ugly, and it was present at the illegal blockades. I want to thank the antihate.ca for their work. To the media outlets who reported without fact-checking. And she goes on to, I'm horrified to share this, to shine light on such darkness. And this is from that article that she's, oh my God. I mean, she needs to fire her interns because they are not giving her good information. And if you want to look at where she's citing, apparently she's citing something that is funded by the Canadian government. Our work is made possible in part thanks to a grant from the Anti-Racism Action Program. So remember, a hammer to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So this is antihate.ca, freedom protest, Nazis. Might as well be proud of the North. I mean, that is the absolute state of Canada. I mean, it's so twisted and crazy up there, I can barely talk anymore. I mean, geez. Trudeau. Blackface Hitler, that's been trending for a little while. Not too far from the truth. Needs to resign. He needs to go. I just can't understand the thought processes of people who are supporting this stuff, because apparently 65% of Democrats in the United States support Trudeau's actions. They support the crackdowns. They support the financial assets being frozen. And I'm sure that they would support it happening down here if Biden wanted to do it. So anyway, I'm just going to leave that here. I know it's been a little bit of a longer video, but I hope you guys stuck around. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give me a follow, give me a like, subscribe to the channel. You can find me on BitChute as well. I need to upload a couple videos on there. I'm a little bit behind. And hope you guys have a good rest of the week. I hope that we are here still in the next coming weeks, because of course, like I said at the start of the video, I mentioned the stuff happening out there in Eastern Europe, and we'll have to keep our eye on that. Maybe I'll do a live stream about that, maybe with a buddy of mine. We'll see what happens, and I'll keep you guys informed. Just follow me on social medias. Of course, here I am on Twitter, at the Swamp Veteran. You can also find me on Gab, Getter, Minds, even though I'm not too active on there. Waiting for that True Social to come out on Android, but until then, you can find me mainly here on Twitter and BitChute, YouTube. Alright, so I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you later.